Yosef and Steven podcast, people. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to the Yosef and Steven podcast, people.
Coming at you live. Well, not really.
Not at all.
But we
We
got
have
a
a special
special guest. Yo. We said it at the same time, but we do have a special guest.
And her name
Hey,
is...
the actor, the singer, the songwriter, the fart and poop joke enthusiast. We got Courtney Bird.
Hey,
Courtney Bird.
Courtney. Hey, y'all.
How you feel about this? Are you
I'm
excited to be on our podcast?
excited. I've never been asked to do anything like this before. It's exciting.
I know.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
excited.
thrilled to be here.
How you feel
Courtney-
about living with Steven right now?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Steven is in Philly right now, so
Yeah.
That's the current circumstance. I've been here for a few days, spring break, hanging out.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Spring break, it's really wild because before Steven got here, we were like, it's been over a year now since we've seen each other. And Steven and I used to hang out a lot at school, so it's kind of crazy, but it's been really fun. We've been watching MasterChef Junior, Adventure Time. Last night we made really good pasta. And,
Steven cooked.
well, Steven's cooking tonight. I cooked last
I
night.
helped. I was like the sous chef, maybe.
You were the taste tester, too.
Maybe like the washer boy, you know?
Yeah.
You see, you're the bread and butter of everything. See,
Yeah, that's
you're basically
good.
the
Yeah.
main person who did everything.
But Steven was really great because I woke up and the dishes were done this morning, which was very nice of him to do.
That's nice.
It was very
Hey.
nice.
You
Yeah.
said you were gonna wake up and do them in the morning, and I was like, I can do them.
Very sweet. Very sweet.
I imagined you waking up in the morning and seeing it and being like lit.
No, I was. It was very nice to wake up to. Thank you.
Yay.
But yeah.
Yeah, Courtney and I have known each other. We met freshman year at UArts. We were in our acting studio class together, and we started hanging out midway through the year probably, and then we've been hanging out all the time since. It's been pretty great. This is the second time I've stayed here. I stayed here for a week one summer, but we've just been chilling now, just sitting on the couch, chilling.
There's not really much else to do, but
For real.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's your
Yeah.
spring break. We don't have a spring break, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when the whole thing is kind of like a loop right now. But yeah, it's kind of weird. You guys get a break and everything, and it's like
yeah.
It's really
But my
nice.
year is shorter, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Thanks, Steven. But yeah, it's like my whole year has been shorter because I came into classes later than you guys did. 'Cause you guys were already in class when I went in.
Yeah.
Or was it around? I don't know. But yeah, we don't
No,
have a
I have
spring
no
break.
idea.
This kind of sucks.
We started in August, I thought. The year?
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
so
Maybe I'm
wild.
making things up.
But yeah, but afterwards, you met her semester. That semester, I pulled up
Yeah.
just out of
Yes.
nowhere because it was spring break.
Yeah.
That's why I pulled up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just hang out with Steven for a little bit, and then I met all his friends, including Courtney. I met her
Yeah.
on the last day though,
And
so it was
did.
like, yeah.
you pranked me. Do you remember that?
Did I?
You
Wait,
pranked me. Let
we
me
gotta-
tell
we
you
gotta-
guys a
yeah,
story
yeah.
about
I
what
need to know
happened
this.
when I met Yosef. So we were just chilling in Steven's room, right? In his dorm room. And Yosef was there, and I was so excited to meet Yosef because I knew that Yosef was so important to Steven. I was like, yes, I'm so honored that I get to meet him because that's important to me. And so then Steven had a keyboard in his room, and we were all just chilling, sitting around, talking, whatever. And I start playing it, and Yosef was like, I don't know how to play piano, at all. So then he takes the keyboard, puts it on his lap, and he's saying he's plunking out notes, and he's like, is this one C or D, E? And I was like, dang, he doesn't know anything about this. So I was like trying to teach him. I was like, yeah, so this one.
Like she was fully committed into teaching me.
I was like, oh, I felt I can use my knowledge to like teach him.
Because we were learning. We were in Music Skills 1. We learned the notes. If you use your right hand, you can do a 5 scale. Very easy.
I felt very.
Oh my gosh.
I felt good about what my knowledge and how I could like teach someone else what I know. You know? So I'm doing all these things, and then Yosef's like, oh, okay, like not understanding. But little did I know, this man is playing a full intricate song. Like 5 minutes later, made me look like a freaking fool. He's like, I know how to play actually. And I was like, okay.
But nah, I've been looking at your Instagram and you write music. And I've actually listened to some of the things. Yeah, because before this podcast, you know, I had to do some digging around and everything.
Some
investigation. And I was watching some of your reels and like some of the songs you were singing. And I was like, dang, she can actually do this.
Thank you.
Because there's a lot of people who write actor, singer, and everything, and it just comes with a package. But then you're actually taking it serious. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
you're doing
it's like, for real. Like, do you produce your own music type thing?
Yeah, I'm trying. I just declared my songwriting minor last semester. So, like, I just started taking, like, the core classes. And actually, it's been really great doing it online because I'm going to be using my computer for that stuff anyway. So, like, it hasn't been so hard to, like, take art school classes from in person to online because this is where I make my music whether I'm in school or not. So it's been like really great, and I just started doing all that, and right now I'm just working on lyrics. I've been a lyricist for a really long time. I really like writing words and I really like making up melodies, but recently I've been exploring like through loops and GarageBand like what things can make a certain sound like a certain way, and that's been like really fun, and I really want to release an EP sometime this year. I think that would be
hey y'all here
EP.
right here
an EP.
Hey, we're the first one to get this message.
I know you are. No one's really asked that before.
We got the first two.
That's crazy.
But for real, that's so crazy. So like with me, when I'm making music, it's just like, okay, if I'm feeling some type of way that day, I can do it. I can play music and then see where that goes. So with your writing though, like what is your process to like write about? Because your feelings might change the next day, and how do you keep that song? You feel me?
Yeah. So recently, especially for my songwriting class, we have a song due every week. So it'll be like a rough draft, and then the next week will be the final. Like he'll give us notes. Yeah. So what I found is that I'll write the instrumental first. Like I'll either find loops or like I'll do something on my keyboard first, and a lot of people it's either instrumental or lyric first, but then I'll see what the vibe of the song is when I finish it, and then I'll hum. What I do is really weird. So I'll have the song all instruments, then I'll record me just humming over the song, and then I'll put words to what I hummed. So
that kind of works.
Yeah.
Do you like have some words that you've like written in a journal ready to go, or like you're like the vibe of this song is feeling this way, so I'm gonna write these words and pick these ones?
Yeah, I try to keep it as truthful as possible. I think all of my songs have definitely truth in it, but if it's about the vibe of the song, not exactly like what am I thinking of right now, or like what is going on in my life right now. Like sometimes I'll write a song about something that happened to me like 7 years ago, and I'll be like, that's what this instrument is giving me.
Wow, like an event or like
that's
a circumstance.
Crazy.
Yeah, or like just a feeling, maybe I haven't felt in a few years. You know, that could be anything.
So how, like, for a person who like tries to write music right now, who's like starting out and everything, what do you tell them? Like, how can they like say what they feel but in a song, so they're not very just directly saying what they feel. You know what I mean? Because the song takes like this metaphor and like everything to really
I'm
show
feeling happy right
exactly.
now.
So it's not just straightforward.
Yeah, metaphors are great, but honestly, what you should do, not what you should do, but what is helpful if you're starting is to listen to your favorite songs and copy them. Like literally copy them. And that's what I've learned. I've had teachers tell me that, like, what your favorites, like, think about your favorite songs and like what makes them your favorite song. Like what about it makes it your favorite, and then try to do that same thing. Like what feeling or what topic are they singing about in this song, and how can you do that in a similar way but make it yours still. I always try to think about like, why are my favorite songs my favorite? What is so good about them? Because they could be someone else's least favorite, but to me it's like, this is genius. Like, or the way that this person is expressing this thing makes so much sense, and it's like really good storytelling. Because
that's so interesting, because a lot of times I would think like, oh, I don't want to copy this person, I don't want to be like a copier, and it's not original if I'm copying them. But for you to say that, it's like that can be the thing that inspires you to find what your original sort of sound is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can like go on like a sample website and hear how many songs have the same sample in them, but you would never know unless you looked it up. You would never know that the same like drum melody sample that was like so big in this one song was used in like 100 others. And like it's just because one person said, "Oh, I like that, I want to use it." And then they make something completely different out of it. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's wild.
There's so much possibility.
Oh, yeah.
One sound can do so many different things.
Yeah.
Man.
What kind of sound would this work for? Like that. Like what would you think that would be good for?
That could be like a
nice snare.
Yeah.
Honestly, that could be a good snare. But like, how do you just keep writing? Like even like with a writer's block. Let's say you got a writer's block right now. You hit. Shit, I can't write for a week. Or what am I writing? Like, what do you do to get over that jump?
We talk about that a lot in class. In class, we'll do a 10-minute nonstop writing thing, and sometimes my teacher will give us a prompt, and for 10 minutes straight, we cannot stop writing, and we have to give the most imagery, like, that we can. Like, he always says, like, I want to know exactly how sweaty your palms were, or how your shoes like fit, but like maybe the laces on one foot was like really like a lot tighter than the other, and like how that made you feel off balance, like very specific. And then we'll share them in class, and it's like really cool to see what everyone else's brain comes up with and how specific you can get to a feeling, because the more specific you can get, even in metaphor, like it can relate to so many people. Like, oh my God, I know that feeling when like you put your left sock on before your right one, but you always put your right sock on before your left every morning. But like that one little thing can make you feel so off, you know? But like something like that can like be like, oh God, I know exactly, like discomfort, like all of these, like this idea of like, okay, write about discomfort. Like there are so many things that you can write. And if you just write for 10 minutes, you can like discover all of the things and like get really worked up about like, and it makes you do like a physical thing. Like thinking about me being uncomfortable, it makes my shoulders like go up to my ears and be like, like I hate that feeling. And that's what you want to do when people hear you write about that, you know? Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be so like crazy, it seems like too, or not crazy, but like serious. Like this thing was so serious, it's like putting your left sock before your right sock. Like that's like such a simple common thing maybe, and those sorts of things could reveal like some deeper things without you like having to say the deeper thing maybe. Right,
like when you don't cut your tag out of your shirt all the way, so like the little part is poking you on your back.
Yeah, like that. What?
You're like trying not to notice it, but every time you move, you're like, it's right there. But if I stay like this in this position, it won't touch my back. You know, something like that.
That is so annoying, and you really got it. That is the most annoying feeling.
Yeah.
Who's
You
your
ever rip the
musical-
tag out your shirt? You ever rip the tag? Sorry, you ever rip the tag out your shirt and it rips the fabric?
The whole
off your
thing,
shirt?
Yes.
yes, bro.
Oh my
And
god,
then
yes.
you suddenly have just a line, and you oh my goodness, bro. Do you know how many shirts I've ripped like that?
No, for real.
Hella white tees have gone dead.
It's tragic.
Yes, what you were saying.
For real.
Who's your favorite artist? That's what you were asking, Yosef.
Yeah, like if you had to pick this one person that you had to just for the rest of your life, you had to make music like them.
Ooh. I know exactly who I would choose. Yeba Smith is, I think, one of the most
lie.
talented artists.
For real.
Also kind of slept on. Like she has a lot of people know her song Evergreen, and she also has My Mind out, and she released a few other songs recently in quarantine. Like I think there's a song called Distance. She does a lot with PJ Morton. PJ Morton is also crazy talented, but her voice, like
Adele, who?
she's like right,
Get
like
out the way, Adele, for real.
R&B soul, like she is the epitome of like yeah, she's the reason why I know how to do runs. Like listening to her like has made me, she's just so smart with the way she sings and the way that she delivers. Like when she performs, she's like performing in like all honesty and like truth, and
she sounds the same as she does on like her recordings.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's remarkable.
Same, bro. Like no effect, nothing. It's just like bare voice, and it's just like, yo, how do you do this?
That's when you know. You're like, whoa, they be getting that.
Yeah, like, bro.
We were saying that Bruno Mars. That man can sing like crazy.
And what the new song he came out with Anderson .Paak?
Oh my god, I listen to it every day.
That song goes crazy.
Every day.
I'm gonna
my
leave my
God.
door open.
For Bruno? Yeah, me too.
But his voice, like even as a kid, right?
Oh
like, Grenade used to go crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And he's still making music, and he's still good. Like that just shows how like talented he really is, bro.
Yeah.
And Anderson .Paak is just on a whole different like.
Oh yeah.
The drums and singing at the same time, like
I don't think people know how hard that is.
For real.
That is so. You have to really
killing it right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing the drums. Do you play any instruments, Courtney?
I am self-taught at piano. I don't know. Me reading music, maybe
I don't read
5
music
out of 10.
nothing.
And honestly, but my fingers kind of know where to go. Like if I'm playing chords, I kind of know where I'm going. Like because I've been playing for a while. Like
you kind of
middle
know
school.
the sounds. You're familiar with
Yes.
the sound that's coming up next, so you kind of just go towards it. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I know.
Steven, do you know what you mean?
I'm getting it.
Yeah, we took piano in college. We took
Hey.
piano.
I know how to do I can do a scale.
Right, and I feel like I know a lot, like about thirds and fifths, where like I know how to. Yeah.
I tried to teach Stevenson piano.
What happened?
Didn't
Bro,
work
I don't
out
remember
very
that.
well.
When did that happen?
That's how
I
it
tried to
happened.
give you some lessons. See, that's what I mean. The fact that you forgot just tell you a lot.
Yeah, maybe it really just went woo one year after the other. No,
For
but
real.
I've seen Yosef play the piano at his church. That's where like you learned. You've told me, and he would go to church, like Ethiopian church, and just play like these chords and going crazy on it.
My dad just put me on stage and was like, yo, kind of figure out type of thing. Because I had kind of the basics. In Ethiopia, I learned the basics, you know. And then I got here, and then he was just like, we need a keyboard player. My dad was starting on a church. So it was like, okay, bet, just get on stage. And then kind of just figured it out. Like with people who come and like go, you know, they come to church, some of them play keyboard. So they would show me something, and then I would use it on stage, and then that way you just kind of develop over time. And I had a choir too. Like there's a choir too that helped. So like being in a choir really helped it to be honest.
Yeah.
Yo,
But I don't
choir?
read
Musical
any
foundation.
notes. I don't read any notes at all. Like, I've never been able to read the notes.
That's hard.
But you can play.
For real.
That's the crazy thing. Like, you don't even have to know. You just, like you were saying, like, both of you know what kind of comes next. Like, you can feel it, what you want. Super cool.
It really
Choir
is.
has helped. Choir helps with like ear training so much. Like I'm so
Yeah.
thankful
Mhm.
for like my high school choir. Like, cause I don't think you realize until like you're doing the thing afterwards. Cause it really, the songs that we sing in there really are like hard. Like some of them,
Yeah.
and then you really learn how to like tune and like what sounds
Yeah.
right when you're doing something so intricate.
Even when
Yeah.
you're hearing like someone else sing, you can be like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
that might be a little," or you might be like, "Damn, that was."
Because you
That was
gotta
good.
be with everyone.
Yeah.
When you're singing choir, you gotta be with everyone. Or you gotta learn how to stay with everyone.
Yes.
And doing that, yeah, I agree. When I came to school, like, we were in music skills, learning about, like, sight singing and sight reading and notes, and it was so helpful. I was like, ooh, I can, like, feel it. You just feel it. I don't play any instruments. I play a little bit of guitar, but it's hard. You gotta
Nah, but you
practice.
got far with
Oh.
guitar.
You were
That's, like,
good at
the
finger
furthest you
picking.
got. Yeah, you got like really far with guitar than more than piano, and I feel like
Yeah,
if you went,
it was fun.
if you
If
kept
I
doing
practice,
it,
that's the biggest thing. Practicing.
Practicing.
Courtney, do you what do you think about like practicing songwriting? Like, what is that? Or practicing making music? Like, and you two.
yeah,
guys,
how do
like,
you
what is that?
practice songwriting? Like, is it just like the 10-minute exercise type of thing?
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it, but also like for me personally, I'll start humming things throughout the day, and I have so many videos of my forehead on my phone of me humming a melody that I just thought of. Or like I'll be in the shower and like I'll voice memo, like I'll stick my wet hand out and I'll be like, I just thought of something and I need to like write it, I need to record it right now and I can't. I have so many videos of me just humming the smallest thing that I'll just try to incorporate. Like,
So do you include those like little memos almost, and just like kind of turn all those into one song?
yeah,
Right?
sometimes I do that. And something else that helps is I see a poetry therapist. So like we analyze a lot of poems, like
Oh.
that also help me with like the things going on in my life. And reading poetry and just seeing the way that people write about their experiences and what they're feeling is so helpful, because it's like,
Wow.
dang, I've never read something like about this topic in that way before, or something like that. So I do read a lot of poetry, and I do listen a lot, like to things, and also just the things around me and people. Like I really love listening. Like so that, and that's all practice, you know. Like I don't think that you
Yeah.
have to like be
Right.
doing like hard like I need to like perfect this chorus like on the keys. Like I need to perfect this chorus and that I'm singing. Like it's all practice. If you're writing something, if you're singing something, if you're doing something, I think it all can come together and be a thing at some point.
Yeah.
Because my thing is like, don't rush it. Especially right now, I'm like, I'm gonna take care of me and like write music for class, because that's important, like my grades. But also like, I'm not gonna try to rush anything, because then it's not true. Because if I feel it, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm never feel it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it later. Because when I have that feeling, when I'm like, oh, I'm ready to do this, I'll do it.
Since you have to write a song every week for class, does it like force you to tap into like feelings that you don't usually like tap into, or like think about shit that you don't even think about, just because you want to get the song done type?
Sometimes it does. Like sometimes I'll write about sadness and heartbreak even though I'm over it, like because it's what I know, and like it's something that like I've lived in for like a good period of time, and there is a lot to say about that. So it's not like it's the end of the world or it's something that bugs me, but sometimes I'm like, okay, what can I write about? Oh, I know a lot about this feeling, so I'm gonna do a new take on that type thing.
Yeah. I loved what you said about like practicing, and like not everything can kind of be your practice, and that way you're not rushed in any way, with class, it's a different story because you got to get something done
Right.
sometimes. So you got to just do something. But on your own, you don't have to sit down and really do it. Everything that you're doing can be your practice. Like everything is that. And so you
It's
can
kind of
just,
like you can
take it
come back to
slow.
it. You can just always come back to it. So like you have that security of, oh, I can do it later. But is that always kind of, that could be a bad thing too, though. Because you're just like, oh, I can do it later, and then later you might not even have the same thought process as earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
So how do
there's
you come back and tap into like a song that you've written? Like, you feel me? How do you tap back into that process again?
Well, I think there's definitely leeway to get really lazy about it, and I definitely have. But recently, like in this time, this is what I really like doing because there's not much to do with my
There's
day.
There's nothing else to do too, yeah.
So right now, like I'm really thankful that I found this thing that I'm starting to get good at and like starting to feel more passionate about and learn about. So there's definitely leeway to get lazy about it, but for me recently, it's just I do parts of what I do and then it becomes a thing, and then I do it again and I'll do different parts and I'll just write things down, like things I'm thinking or things I'm feeling. My notes app is like 6,000 separate notes, and it's just all. I also wake up every morning and write my dreams down if I remember them, and sometimes
that's crazy.
Yeah, I have a whole section in my notes for all my dreams, like for a while. I've definitely been doing it since the beginning of quarantine, so at least a year.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Have you used those in your music?
Sometimes I do, as lyrics. Sometimes I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely like imagery things and like circumstances you could pull from that you just would not think of. Like the weirdest things would come up, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's cool. How often does something just like pop in your head as opposed to like something you're like intentionally working on? Because you can sit down and be like, I'm going to write for 10 minutes and then you'll get an idea. And that's a really effective way to do things. But also, there's that like sudden inspiration. You see a bird flying or just you're just walking and a thought pops up. Like, how often does that happen?
That happens a lot of time, but like I don't know how to explain. Like it'll be a lot of the time it is when I'm in the shower and I'll just like be singing and like I'll just think of something. I have a lot of good shower thoughts, I feel, and I think that's common with a lot of writers. But there was this one day in school last year where I went around to the people who were like doing work study in like the 6th floor office, and people who were sitting on the benches outside on the 6th floor, and I was like, give me like your favorite topic or something that you really like to talk about, like that you know a lot about. Like if I asked you to do a TED Talk right now, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to talk about this for 15 minutes because I absolutely can. And they would, and I wrote a list of it, and I would write like little like poems about each thing if I felt like I knew about them too. And I was like, that's a cool way to like get inspired. Yeah, like that's a cool way. I went into an office and I asked the people in there, I was like, give me like your favorite thing, and like don't tell me why, just like give me a thing. And
that's kind of dope. For real,
that is so dope. You can, because with something like that, you can never get stuck in any moment. It doesn't always have to be, I'm gonna go ask random people, but like just the like concept of I'm gonna find a new way to get inspired. I'm gonna do something different. Or you could watch a movie and be like, that's what's gonna inspire me right now. Or go look at art pictures or talk to people or go on a run, and like that experience of going on a run and exercising. It's literally endless. And back to that thing that everything is the work. There's never a moment when you're not doing it, which is so cool. So cool.
Yeah, and I think also writer's block is like very real, but at the same time, I try to push through a lot. Like I find myself not getting so blocked because say I'm like writing about a bird or something and I'm like, oh, I don't have anything else to write about, like this bird, like what the heck? I could then be like, okay, what is around that, like trees, air, clouds, like there's always somewhere to go like with a thing, and then you can like always come back to it. So like I always push through, and like me practicing like the 10-minute writing whatever is like really helpful because I'm like, I can't stop, and it's gonna end, like the 10 minutes are gonna end, so like you will stop, and just knowing that like you will have a deadline, like I don't know, it's just really helpful.
Do you worry about rhyming at all, or do you just like write whatever it comes to your brain?
I don't worry about rhyming at all. If it's a phrase if I have a hummed melody line that I've recorded and I'm like, okay, I know that this phrase ends here. Like this is the verse, this is the first phrase of the verse. I will sing lyrics or write lyrics over it as I would, like not worrying about anything, and then I will pull the thesaurus up and look for synonyms that would rhyme with the word that I need or that I want, or I'll change it. But rhyming is never, I feel personally that it could be unhelpful because you're trying to tell this thing so specifically, but then if you're like, it needs to rhyme with this, it could be not as truthful or not like the idea that you have in the first place. So I always, it sounds not like a pop song you'd hear on the radio, definitely not the first time that I'll write something. But I do change things, but I do change things that don't take away from what I'm trying to say.
Where do you see your music going, though?
Good question. In your ears, yeah.
In my ears.
I don't know.
Like genre-wise. How about that? That makes it easier.
Yeah, definitely R&B. Like the music that I like to make is very inspired by what Yebba's sound is. It's definitely that. I grew up listening to a lot of Bobby Brown, a lot of Kem, like a lot of really great R&B pop soul singers.
Yeah.
And I do feel like I have more of a voice that suits that genre. Like being a musical theater major, I do find myself sticking out in some places. I don't have that like Broadway pingy belt. Like I have a very gut. Like I have a very gut voice. Like it's very like
some hood. It has some oomph to it. Yeah,
some oomph, as you say.
Yeah.
Oh. You have a very, very wonderful voice. Like,
thank you.
If anyone hits up your Instagram, there are videos on there of you singing, right?
Nah, for real. Like, people, if you're listening, we're not playing with you. Go check her Instagram out. For real.
What is your Instagram?
My Instagram, I think, is Courtney Bird with 2 D's at the end.
Okay. Yeah. People, if anyone's listening, check it out, because Courtney's voice is, I don't know, I think it's very unique. And
thank you.
It just has this feel, you know? We were talking about, what's that word you were telling me about? Like the quality of the voice?
Like timbre.
Search for the timbre, yeah. Like, I'm like, I don't know what that is still a little bit, but like, I don't know. You were saying like those things like, affect it. This like quality of the richness.
It's like the color. Like what
like
the color.
Tone and like the warmth of it and everything. Right. Yeah, it kind of gives you a hug, you know?
Aww.
So people, if you're not... Yeah, you know? Nah, but yeah, check it out, for real. Like, if you love songwriting, right? How are you gonna do it do you see yourself, because you're musical theater and everything, do you see yourself doing theater and everything, or do you see yourself like maybe incorporating some kind of film with music?
Definitely a film with music vibe, because I really love arts. I really love musical theater, but after learning what I've been learning, I don't think Broadway has never been my goal. I really don't see myself there. I really don't, and
You're right.
I don't know. I would love I guess if I were to like give you like my goal, but like success means, so I don't like to say how successful I'll be, because success can mean so many different things.
Tell me how successful you're gonna be.
$1 million. For me to be successful, I want to be like happy. Like I want to be like content with the things I'm doing. I don't count success in like how many Broadway shows someone would be in. Like that is success in a different way, but I just want to be like not miserable. Like not saying I am now,
content,
but just like,
you know,
I want to be content. I want to be comfortable.
Right.
And But if I had a goal, I would love to be in a horror movie. I would love to be in a horror movie. And I would just love to release a bunch of music that people just listen to and it's like, oh, this is a good song. Like, I just want people to listen. Like, that's all I really want. Like, yeah.
Maybe you should write some horror music.
For real.
Is that a thing? I haven't
And then
heard
they
that genre.
incorporate
Horror
that in the movie. What? What? Have you ever thought
No,
about
I'm
your
playing.
like what's it called? Musician name, I guess.
No, well, right
Because
now.
I feel like your last name is kind of OC. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
Bird.
I do go by both my first and last name. Like, a lot of people call me Courtney and Bird or Birdie interchangeably, which I really love. And I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. But all of my friends call me Courtney or Birdie. Like, and I really like being called Bird.
Yeah, that
Birdie.
joke is kind of OC.
Yeah.
Like a bird. Have you heard Bird song? Yo, play Bird. What?
You could have like album art, like art of a bird or something, like a phoenix or something.
Ooh.
Hey, see, we
Got
thinking
some-
ahead for you. Look.
Any graphic
Look at
designers
us.
out there that want to work with me,
Let us know.
let us know.
Yo,
But
but
yeah.
we should probably wrap it up. 'Cause
We'll
it's
wrap
getting-
it up
getting
right
some time.
here. Her EP,
Yeah,
you
this
better,
is-
follow her on Instagram and then wait on the EP because it's coming. It's
It is.
coming. Alright, it's coming this year.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time. My name is Yosef.
My name's Steven, and our special guest.
Yeah.
It's Courtney Bird. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.
Yosef and Steven podcast, people.